Hey, dear viewer, this is Almighty Z, and I just had the weirdest acid trip. World was all square with bizarrely designed creatures, but it had real people and Jack Black in it. They sort of went on an adventure that didn't make any sense, and the whole thing felt like a bad idea to witness. Wait a minute, I don't do hard drugs. Oh, my bad guys, that was just a Minecraft movie.
What's the difference?
There's not a lot of positives I have about a Minecraft movie. This film isn't for longtime gamers or fans of Minecraft. It's for middle schoolers and people who want to get in on the memes. When we get into spoilers, I'll explain why. The real people plastered in completely CGI settings just state the obvious that this film should have been animated. Aspects from the video game are chosen at random to be included in the world, and some are inconsistently told within the story. And I say story very loosely, because this feels like a collection of ideas chosen from a dispenser and plastered like an awkward painting on the wall. There are ideas with some of the journeys the characters go on, but in execution, they're more thin than a stick. Now let me address this argument right away. Why are you being critical of a kids movie? Just let them enjoy it. Well, the idea that kids movies are supposed to be dumb is ludicrous. To quote from acclaimed writer C.S. Lewis, "A children's story that can only be enjoyed by children is not a good children's story in the slightest, because well-written children's stories can apply valuable lessons in our youth. It can help build kids into moral, able-bodied adults. And don't kids deserve to have good movies and TV shows instead of just mindless crap? And it's not a tragedy if a kids movie is dumb fun, but it's a missed opportunity. Because when the kids grow up, and hopefully mature, will they look back on slot movies like this fondly? Or as fondly as good children's movies such as The Incredibles, Lion King, or the Lego Movie?
Not likely.
But to give an olive branch, towards the end I can sort of see the appeal of this movie. To me it felt like Stockholm Syndrome, but you can tell the film realizes how stupid and ridiculous it is. So there is some level of campiness and self-awareness in it. But how fun you'll find it is subjective, and I wasn't a fan. And now, let me explain why.
You have been warned.
We begin with a prologue from Steve. He wanted to be a miner as a kid,
As a child, I yearned for the mines.
but wasn't allowed to. So he grows up to be a doorknob salesman, realizes that he can become a miner now, and does. This sequence is played up as a joke, but it's more stupid than funny, but get used to this kind of humor. While mining, Steve discovers the Orb of Darkness and the Earth Crystal. When combined by a portal, they take him into the overworld of Minecraft. Hey, question for the writers. If this is the same mine that's been worked on by the grizzly old guy for decades, are you really telling me he, nor any other miner, didn't discover any of this until Steve came along? And you took an element from the Minecraft Dungeon series that was about power and corruption and turned it into a teleporting device?
Yes.
Gotcha, just checking. In the overworld, Steve tames a wolf, names it Dennis, builds various homes, and explores the world. He spends several years doing this, but one day he opens a portal to the Nether, an evil land filled with pigmen and ruled by Malgosia. She hates how creative the overworld can be and wants to use the Orb of Darkness to cover it in darkness. And this is a bit of a time skip, but her motivation is she hates creativity because she went on Nether's Got Talent, sang a song that got booed, and now hates being creative.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Remember, I don't take hard drugs, so I'm not hallucinating this part. Unless that sketchy looking kid slipped a Mickey in my drink. But Steve gets captured easily, but gives Dennis the Orb of Darkness and Earth Crystal, and he escapes out of the Nether, and exits the overworld too. And with Steve's instructions, it's hidden in the most secure place on Earth, under Steve's bed.
Really?
It's funny because Steve is stupid. And for several years, a square-looking wolf roams the earth, including being in the local town, and no one notices or cares. It's like ignoring a pink sheep in the game. How are people this oblivious?
Much later.
Garrett, the garbage man, wins a storage vault in an auction. It contains items from Steve's house, but he can't find the Atari Cosmos he was told it contained. But instead of demanding a refund or even feigning to sue for fraud, he takes the L and the overworld artifacts. And considering Garrett is a washed-up gamer from the 80s who runs a failing video game store in Idaho, you'd think he'd want to keep all the money he can get, but he's kind of an idiot, too. Meanwhile, siblings Henry and Natalie move into town after their mother passed. Natalie is working to provide and take care of Henry, while the latter is an awkward high schooler. On his way to school, he stops by Garrett's shop and Garrett gives him his number and advice on how to get through life. It's funny cause he's a loser. At school, Henry shows off his creativity by building a jetpack, but it accidentally goes haywire and destroys part of the town's factory. When he needs to call a guardian to pick him up, he uses Garrett's number and says he's his uncle. The vice principal buys it, and back at Garrett's store, Henry sees the Orb of Dominance and Earth Crystal. Garrett reads off instructions about how to combine them. Henry does so, then Garrett notices the back where it says don't do this under any circumstances. If you told me these characters were previously in Idiocracy, I believe you. But the cube leads them by force to the mines and portal. Natalie notices Henry wasn't home from school and tracks his phone location to find him. And oh yeah, her realtor Dawn goes along too for safety. Her gimmick, because she has all the depth of a street puddle, is she has a lot of side gigs like real estate and a mobile petting zoo. I can hear the writers going, more quirky characters, more! But all four are led to the portal and fall in. They're naturally freaked out, but Garrett assumes being the leader and tries interacting with the world.
Hola.
That thing doesn't understand a word you're saying.
We're talking.
I was gonna wait a little further to explain my gripes with all these characters, but
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
all of these characters are acting like caricatures of people. Each of their basic traits are dialed up to 12, and they're all a variation of shock, stupidity, and hamming it up for the camera. Because this film is hell-bent on making memes and humor appealing for middle schoolers. So nearly every scene goes like this. Suddenly, it's now nighttime, and Dawn remarks,
Does that feel quick to anyone else?
it's fairly amusing to mirror the game's quick daytime cycle. Wonder if it'll come up again. The four see various zombies and skeletons and run around trying to survive. Eventually, Henry gets a wood block from a tree and starts building a structure for protection, despite only getting one block. Also, a creeper explodes next to Garrett and he's totally fine, which, yeah, I'll talk about this now.
Fuck it!
This movie selectively picks and chooses what it wants to adapt from the game, and even then, it isn't consistent. The quick times tonight only happen here. It never comes up again, and with more action scenes coming up, it would have absolutely occurred at least once based on what was shown. And while adapting a video game, the choices of what to include should make some kind of sense, and not for just recognition that it's a thing or picking and choosing whatever needs to happen for the sake of the plot. Like building a structure out of collecting one block, or not even getting injured when a creeper explodes next to you.
Minecraft is full of opportunities for adventures. Each person's journey is different.
When we were developing this into a film, we just thought, let's bring our fun story.
I don't believe you.
So the four survive the night until Steve heroically arrives.
I am Steve.
How is he here, you inquire? Well, Malgosha smelled the Orb of Dominance had returned, and made Steve go retrieve it for her because she claimed Dennis the Wolf was held captive. And he bought it? If Dennis got captured by Malgosha, she would have already had the materials she needed for her plan and won. So how did he not notice this? Oh right, for the memes. My mistake. Steve gives them a rundown of the situation and notices the Earth Crystal got destroyed in the night. So to get them out, they need to find the only other crystal that's in a woodland mansion on the other side of the world.
Sure, why not?
So they go to the nearest village where Steve introduces iron golems and War of the World. It's also where Steve helps them craft and keeps a supply of resources. And, writers, I have another question. Why is the guy who has explored and built in the overworld for years not have his supplies stored in his house? Why not use this opportunity to really show how creative you can be in this world by having our characters marvel at a magnificent mansion Steve built? It would fit his character and relate to players who have spent years in their own world making beautiful houses.
Uh-oh. 2 independent thought alarms in one day.
The most common thing players create in Minecraft, and you don't even try to do it justice in your own film.
Why are you the way that you are?
But suddenly, piglins and ghasts from the nether attack the village. They can survive the sun now because Malgosha gave them all a resistance potion. Just now. And we didn't even see her using a brewing stand. Oh, and these are the only creatures in the nether according to the film. Wither skeletons, Blaze, Magma Cube, and Hoglins are completely left out. Would have been a nice detail to include them in this movie, but that would imply you care about the source material. During the attack, Steve, Garrett, and Henry get separated from Natalie and Dawn. The men escape using elytra, fly through the world escaping gas, and survive the fall when Steve uses a water bucket trick to cushion the fall. Meanwhile, Natalie and Dawn wander aimlessly until they weaken and die. Oh wait, that's what would actually happen to two people stuck in a world with little understanding of it. Instead, Dennis the Wolf luckily finds them in the entire overworld and leads them to the Woodland Mansion. And after hearing Steve has diamonds, Garrett refuses to go anywhere until he gets some so he can sell them in the real world to save his store. Hey, another question. These aren't Earth diamonds. What pawn store or jeweler would accept odd-looking diamonds and think they're legit? Oh wait, he's stupid, so it works. It's all fun. Fun. Except Henry gets mad at Garrett for being selfish and thinking of himself when his sister may be in danger. Which is a fair point. And showing Henry cares about his sister is very nice, and it's why I say he could bring up the diamond logic. Garrett responds by showing some vulnerability, admitting his life isn't all that great. But before the moment could begin to make you care about these people, a great hog from the Nether finds him. The three escape through Steve's minecart that also goes through a creeper farm that doesn't kill them. Somehow. The men arrive outside the Woodland Mansion, where Steve plans that Garrett and himself will distract the Illagers on the first floor, while Henry finds the Earth Crystal. The distraction includes boxing,
Chicken jockey!
And I'll be all like...
This reminds me of another annoying meme from many eons ago. Let me uncover the ancient scrolls and display it for you.
I'm a pickle! I'm Pickle Rick! I want Szechuan sauce! Where's my Szechuan sauce? I'm Pickle Rick! Wubba lubba dum dum! I'm Pickle Rick! Rick!
This is what Chicken Jockey is. A meme making people create obnoxious scenes in real life to the chagrin of staff workers. And like with Pickle Rick, all of its fans will be tainted, and it will be seen as super cringe within a few years. Because memes will come and go, but a good story will always remain entertaining on any watch. Yet Henry gets the Earth Crystal and the three escape, after Steve helps to win the fight. But Malgosha and her minions arrive and take the Orb of Dominance! They're about to blow up the bridge they're on, but Garrett sacrifices himself to help Steve and Henry escape. To give some props, there is something meaningful to Garrett being selfless in this moment. He's someone acknowledging a lot of his life has been wasted, but he's doing something meaningful now by wanting the future to survive. And both Henry and Steve pass out and wake up in a bed in a mushroom house. Wait, what? Oh, it's because Natalie and Dawn found them and brought them inside a mushroom house they built. Except they already exist in the world. But wait a second. How the fuck did you possibly find them when they were on the other end of the planet and there was no way to track them? Shut up. Don't think about it. So the four start a gear up scene to take on Malgosha, who has used the Orb of Dominance to cover the overworld in darkness. But wait, if she does that and creativity is gone, wouldn't that mean the humans can't craft and should be, whatever?
The only thing that does make sense is that nothing makes sense.
So the big fight happens, and coming to the rescue is Garrett?
What?
You're telling me he survived a direct hit of exploding TNT? Hell, what exactly can kill humans in the world of Minecraft? Because from the looks of it, they're all made of invincibility potions. And if they can't get hurt, how can I possibly be invested in the stakes of this climax? So the humans stop Malgosha's plan, she dies in the sun, and tries to kill Steve for laughs. And the humans return to the real world, including Steve. But this is a payoff that had no setup at all. You're trying to tack on the theme of reality versus escapism, but there was never any discussion or scene in the film showing the perks and benefits of the real world in comparison to a world with unlimited creativity. So this decision of Steve to join the real world isn't earned at all. And who is the main character in this supposed to be? Because it feels like you wanted Steve, Garrett, and Henry to all be the main character, which can't function in a good story. Every good story, no matter how many characters they have, will still have one main character. Unless you just made all three to appeal to certain demographics of gamers, and give them half-assed arcs to give the illusion of growth. To wrap it up, Garrett and Steve make a new video game, because somehow these two chowderheads know how to do that. Dawn gets a petting zoo with Dennis, Natalie teaches self-defense, and Henry gets to build his jetpack. And oh yeah, there was an F-plot of the vice principal creepily falling in love with a villager that got into the real world.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Not only was this pathetically unfunny, but it also shows how thin your story was to have to include this to fill time. This film had been in production since 2014. Many different directors and writers came and went, with different ideas of a story to tell regarding one of the most popular video games of all time. And this is the final product, the equivalent of digging straight down or drinking a poison potion. A broken mess held together by memes. And this is anything but a creative adaptation of one of the most influential and imaginative video games of our time.
Ironic.
Anywho, thank you all for watching. Expect more videos from me, Almighty Z, discussing more media from A to Z. So long.